Very good afternoon, all the students. So today's lecture is all about our second unit in OSM, that is service quality. In last lecture, we discussed our unit first. We took a revision on unit first, that is service strategy. In service strategy, we learn about service strategy, service vision, service environment, then winning customer in marketplace, information and strategy related to the services. And now today is our second lecture. Oh, sorry. Today we are start our unit second, that is service quality. In that today we first discuss what is meant by service quality, the significance of quality, then category of a service quality, improve the service quality, and how they measure the service quality. The introduction of a service quality. In that first one, we discuss the definition of a service quality. So, what is meant by service quality? The evaluation of a conformity to the expectation to the client satisfaction and the determine the various problem areas called as the service quality. So service quality is nothing but the expectation to the client satisfaction to determine the problem areas. It's called as the service quality. So there are six types of significance of a service quality, which as follows. First one is to reduce the cost. Second one to resistant or less affected to the price war. Third one is to greater customer loyalty. Fourth one to higher the market share. Fifth one to the loyal internal customer. And the last one is a higher ROI, that is return on investment. We discuss all the significance in detail right now. So the first significance, as I told you, that to reduce the cost. But before that, there is a great overlapping of a marketing and operation in the case of any services. To managing the quality of a services of a marketing mixes will regarded as the quality of a service. So there are some few significance. One of that is to reduce the cost. So in reduce the cost by having higher level of quality, it is possible to have a laser mistake for any repetition of a task and refund to a dissatisfied customer or service recovery exercise. The cost can be reduced with the help of various preventions or preventive and corrective measures, and thus it improve the productivity. So basically introduce the cost we having the higher level of a quality, which is possible to have a laser mistake of any repetition of a task and refund to dissatisfy the customer or service recovery of the particular services. So second is to resist or less affected to the price war. In that, some additional differentiating trade as possessed by the firm, which is considered to have a high quality of the services, and thus they are able to avoid the service commodity trap as a greater benefit in comparison to the competitor as a provider. Thus, this firm can be changed more price of the services. Third one to the greater customer loyalty. So the greater customer satisfaction can be ensured by the high service quality, which result in the greater customer loyalty and great profit. So for greater customer loyalty, we have to maintain the satisfaction level or the service quality of a particular services that the provide or that we provide. Fifth one is a loyal internal customers. So there is a, linear relationship which exists along the profitability of the firm, the loyal customer, and a happy employee. So there can be the sense of a proud among the employee for the firm, which are they employ and higher level of inspiration which you deliver with a high quality of the services, which can be achieved from the employee having the sense of belongingness with them. Last one is a higher return on investment. So high quality services can be facilitated via service profit chain, and which can be result in a higher profitability. So next is a category of a service quality. So basically there are two types of category of a service quality. First one is objective service quality, and second one is subjective service quality. So what is meant by objective service quality? So basically this measures determine how well the concept in a practice measures against the defined objective. So basically in objective service quality, it measure which determine how well the concept is practiced or how well the concept is practice measures against the defined objective. And in subjective service quality, it is the way to consumer perceive the actual result with the expected benefit which is seek, and thus the process of matching the consumer imagine services which are service provider claim of offering the reasonable services. Sometimes it defines result in a unreachable. It is in this scenario the objective idea of a result can be regarded by the best outcome through the objective assembled by yet an unsatisfactory level. So basically, these are two types of service quality. First one is objective, and next is subjective. So as I told you, in objective service quality, basically how well the concept is practice measures should be used against the defined objective. In subjective service quality, the way of consumer perceive the actual result in expect to the benefit that seek, and thus the process of matching the consumer imagined services, which services provide and claim of offering the reasonable services. So these are basically two types. The next is improving the service quality. So for improving the service quality, we have five measures. In that, first one is assessing the efficiency and influence of operating practices. Next is to determine the teamwork and management support. Third one to address the people effectively. Last is fourth one is continuously improving the quality for, and fifth one to leadership commitment. So, in assessing the efficiency and influence of operation practices, so basically, in order to upgrade the service quality, the organization should mainly understand the employee thought or belief at a various level. So, the organization should review the confidence and support of a service personnel in the improvement activity. In second, determining the teamwork and management support. Basically, every quality initiative taken by the organization, which is essentially require the management support, and this support should not be only for the starting initiative, but it should continue support for the sustaining the effort. Third one is addressing the people effectively. So here, the Employee Act is a vital constituent in any long-term development initiatives or organization. So basically, in the presence of a right kind of support and leadership, this employee may become very fruitful, dealing with the human side of a quality in orderly and coherent manner with the help of attain the long-term improvement in a service quality. Next is to continuous improve the quality efforts. So in this, to develop and grow together with a dynamic of varying needs lead to better service quality by the organization, and way to achieve the long-term quality improvement must by review from time to time. Last one is leadership commitment. In a leadership commitment, basically there are some of key questions that need to address of every manager of a service organization, because answer of this query is a crucial and indicates the organization leadership toward the long-term sustainable improvement. There are some questions or queries do you focus on a quality improvement regularly, or do you motivate your employee in the same? Do you offer any leadership to tackle a persistent quality problem, or are the follow-up and corrective action procedure are done appropriate? These types of query can be occur during the key during addressing to every manager of a service in organization. So so these are the five improving service quality steps, or as we call as the service quality can be improved with the use of such five strategy. In that, first one, as I told you, is assessing the efficiency. Second is determine the teamwork. Third one, to address the people effectively. Fourth one is continuous improving the quality effort, and last is the leadership commitment. Next is measure the service quality. So how to measure the service quality? So some popular service quality model, the GAP model, Secure model, uh, critical incident model, etc. Among of these, GAP model are commonly used to measure and enhance the service quality. So in that, there are different type of GAP which can be seen as service quality. are started below where the purpose of a paroxysm and Bittner. So these are four steps. In that first one, customer expectation versus perceived service gap. Second is the quality standard gap. Third one is the service performance gap. And fourth one is promise versus performance gap. Sorry. First is customer expectations. So basically, in gap one, there is a one of a fundamental reason for not fitting the customer expectation. The difference between the customer expectation is a certain services and the service provider understand the expectation, which call as a gap A. So what is in by gap one or gap first? So gap one first is a fundamental reason for not filling the customer expectation. The difference between the customer expectation of a certain services and the service provider understand those expectation is nothing but the gap one. So for example, the foreign bank operating in a country which realized that customer expected better ambience and quality atmosphere which was not being offered, and therefore they try to overcome the gap by providing some good quality ambience and changing their executive with a more presentable ones. Okay. So however they fail to comprehend that customer were paying attention to the lack of ambience because they were waiting and looking around for a place to sit. They were really criticizing about the inadequate speed and complex operation. Thus it called as a customer expectation versus perceived service gap. Okay. So there are some factors which affect the or which is responsible for the gap first. The factor are absence of a direct communication with the customers, then absence of a willingness to ask customer about their expectation. Third one to in preparedness to address the expectation, and last one to absence of a market segmentation. In that first one is absence of a direct communication with the customers. So where when there is a no communication between the service personnel and the customer, such kind of gap may be generated and perception of a poor service quality are established. Okay, and like series of a bad decision and insufficient resource allocation, when people holding important authority and responsibility for establishing priorities fail to properly interpret the customer service expectation. Second is absence of a willingness to ask customer about their expectations. So service organization may believe that they know everything about their customer requirement and what the best them. The seems to be imperious attitude toward the customers. So in the present day, dynamic organization have delegated the responsibility to make adjustment in the service delivery system. The third one is in preparedness to address the expectations. In that, another factor responsible for gap one is this: the service provide to address the service expectation of a customer, and the service provide despite being aware of the issue, which is do not prepare themselves for addressing the same, as they think the customer are tolerant or the issue not so significant that it may result in a loss of customer backing. Last two, absence of a market segmentation. In absence of a market segmentation, the merging of a customer sharing identical requirement, need expectation and demographic or a psychographic profile, which known as a market segmentation. Nowadays customer are not anymore satisfied with the similar product and services for the mass market. So these are some factor which is responsible to gap one. Okay, and the next step is a quality standard gap, or a gap as we call as a gap two. So basically, in gap two, the service provider do not understand the customer expectation properly, and according to the development of a customer-driven service standard is affected. The difference between the company interpretation of a customer expectation and creation of a customer-driven service standard, which is designed as a gap two, or we call as a quality standard gap second. Okay, so there are six factors affecting for a gap 2, or which create the gap 2. That in that first one, absence of a pure customer or driven standard, the lack of a formal quality control objective, then impressive or undefined service design, then the resource constraint, then market condition and management indifference. In that, uh, in that first one is absence of a pure customer driven standard. The first factor responsible is gap 2 is absence of a pure customer driven service standard in a service organization. The service standard set in service organization which is not based on a customer requirement but the service provider. Second is the lack of a formal quality control objective. In that, another factor responsible of a gap is this lack of quality control objective. So basically, the service provider believe that it is not possible to establish formal quality control objective for service delivery, as the qualification is not possible. They ignore that subjective evaluation can be significant in establishing standard. Third one is impressive or undefined service design. So gap 2 is also generated due to perceived and undefined service design. The failure to associate service design to services positioning can be lead to bad service design. Uh, Fourth one is resource constraint. So it is also a significant factor responsible for causing gap 2. Resource constraint is a limitations may obstruct or hinder the service provider from offering services as a desired by the component. Fifth one is a market condition. So competitive priority is one of the most competitive market condition affect the gap. Under the condition, every competitor produce nearly similar quality product or services. And last one is management indifference. So in that, it is the ideology of a management that caused by gap to occur. Service management, despite claiming the offer of a high quality service, actually provide minimum level of a service that acceptable to the customers. So these are some reason that gap 2 is occurs. So in today's lecture, we discuss what is meant by service quality, the significance of service quality, the categories of a service quality, then how to improve the service quality. Okay, then how to measure the service quality. There are four steps. In that, first one is customer expectation versus perceived standard gap. In that, we discuss gap one. Okay, what is meant by gap one and the responsible factor of a gap one. Then next we discuss what is meant by quality standard gap, and in that, in first one we discuss what is meant by gap model. In that gap model, we discuss gap one or customer expectation versus perceived service gap. Then factor responsible for a gap one. Then second is a quality standard gap. In quality standard gap means gap 2 and the factor responsible for a gap 2. Okay, and next lecture we discuss the service performance gap and promise versus performance gap. Okay, I hope all the student will understand today's lecture. Thank you so much. Thank you.